What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. We got a spicy one today. Little breaking news, whatever you want to call it. SGC, has teamed up with Topps to offer special priced grading on 2022 Bowman Chrome, which just came out today. This is interesting on a ton of different levels. Let's get the details in first, and then we'll go ahead and dig in. Let's go ahead and click here to learn more. Landing page on the old SGC website. 2022 Bowman Chrome only. It's the only thing that applies to this. This deal is good through the end of the year. You got like 5 weeks. It's $9 per card, no minimums. No declared value because SGC doesn't have declared value on Ultra Modern. The no minimum thing is great. They don't charge any additional fees for auto grading, and they're saying 5 to 10 day turnaround time. That is a hell of a deal. Whether you like SGC or not as a grading company, or you like their slabs or not, it's almost worth it as a pre-grade at $9 a card, to be honest. Even if you didn't want the card living in there, but you wanted someone to take a look at it first, if you wanted to go that route, you could. So from a consumer standpoint, this is a massive W. $9 per card grading with basically no strings attached. No membership, no declared value, none of that nonsense. Just $9 a card. Send 1 card, send 100 cards. Doesn't really make a difference. Now, once again, restriction is 2022 Bowman Chrome, only the brand new release product today. But from a consumer standpoint, home run, crushed it. Let's take a couple different angles to this as well and kind of continue this discussion. From a grading competition standpoint, killer move. One, you do the collaboration with Topps, so you get that extra marketing oomph in there. In my opinion, this is a direct shot at really all the grading companies, but specifically Beckett. Beckett is kind of known as the Bowman Chrome auto guys. Like, that's where a lot of loyalists send their Bowman Chrome cards to, and they still might. They might still end up in those holders, but like I said before, I think a lot of people will use this as potential pre-screening. Let me send it in the SGC, get their opinion on it for $9, get it back, and then I'll decide what I want to do with it. If I want to eventually cross it into a PSA 10, or send it off to Beckett to shoot for a BGS 9.5 or whatever the case might be. This price instantly puts them way cheaper than the competition for this specific card with super fast turnaround times. I mean, this is just like a win all around. They are now, I mean, we don't know the details behind the deal and how this all worked. Their foot is now in the door at Topps, which is Fanatics, which then opens this up for the future. Topps Chrome update is about to come out in December. If this goes well, do we see something similar with that? And maybe it's not something they want to do with every single product because it would kind of undermine things a little bit. I get that. But the fact that this arrow is in their quiver to potentially go to now is a nice win for them, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't think we see this with every release. We might not see it again for 6 months, 8 months, a year. We might see it again in 2 months. I don't really know. I also like seeing these grading companies think outside of the box in regards to pricing. It's just kind of another thing they could play with versus just the flat, $15 per card, $20 per card, whatever the case might be. They could decide to get a little spicy for a short period of time if they want to and say, hey, maybe we'll, once again, I don't know what the details are on this. At $9 a card, are they making a profit or is it a loss leader for them? Is Topps subsidizing some of it at X amount per card? Who knows what the finer points of the deal might be. But it might be worth it to them to basically grade at little to no profit on it for a very limited amount of time to establish themselves in the market for a card that they typically weren't seen as a go-to for. like I said before, Beckett kind of owned the marketplace for first Bowman autos. Don't get me wrong, PSA gets a ton of them too. PSA still outsells BGS 95s when it comes to first Bowman Chrome autos. But that was a big part of Beckett's business. So SGC gets to make some headway into a very niche market. Once again, it's this Bowman only. It's a very, very niche thing. It's prospecting. It's baseball. Which this is great marketing for them because it's $9 per card. They're not going to get murdered on this. This is not printed to the moon like a Prism basketball is. So they know, like, hey, we could throw this out there. We're going to get a lot of cards, but we're not going to get, like, buried per se, like it would be if it was NBA Prism, which, I mean, or Optic. We've seen the photos of, pyramids built out of blaster boxes. So there's that angle from it as well. Since it's such a niche product, it allows them to kind of get the buzz out of it and have that cheap price point and grab a niche of collectors that they maybe didn't get in the past as much business from. And also limits their exposure, I guess, to use a term, on the just amount of cards that they're going to be able to get. And we know that they can hit the turnaround times. They've been crushing turnaround times for months now. So overall, this seems like a win across the board. I think it's a great move if you're a Bowman Chrome collector. And like I said, even if you are on the fence about SGC, if you don't want the card to ultimately live in that slab, I could absolutely see the use case as a pre-grade to send them to them and have them look at it and then make a determination from there at $9 a card. I mean, I know at one point in time during like peak market craziness, group submitters would charge like $5 a card to look over a card. I would never use these. I mean, I don't really use group submitters to begin with, but I always thought it was wild that people couldn't look over them cards themselves. But if you were willing to pay a random group submitter $5 per card to wipe off a card for you and take a peek at it, why wouldn't you pay an actual grading company $9 per card, have them slab it, actually assign a legit grade to it, and then make a determination from there what you want to do with the card, whether you ultimately keep it in there or move it on to something else. So, and then, so from the collector standpoint, this is just wins all around. Great price point, great turnaround time, essentially no strings attached. Win, 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 win there. On the business side, it moves SGC into a niche that I don't think that they're necessarily super established in with first Bowman Chrome autos. Like I said, not saying they don't get any, but it just feels like that's not something that they're known for. It's great marketing because of the Topps collaboration. And then it opens the door for potential future deals if this works out good. From Topps angles on it, they're getting the marketing out of it as well with 2022 Bowman Chrome. Might help drive sales. Who knows? But to me, it benefits SGC more than it benefits Topps in a landslide. There could be something I'm not seeing there. And like I said, to me, the biggest angle there is what does this mean going forward? What other sets would you like to see that this come down the road for? And like I said, I don't think it's something they're going to do all the time, but to have this arrow to pull out every once in a while is definitely very, very intriguing. And I can already see Topps, owned by Fanatics. Who's going to be the first one to comment? Does Fanatics buy SGC? Just saying. Just saying. There's a relationship between those two companies now. Just putting it out there. I'm sure someone's already thinking it in the comment section. You probably already wrote the comment. Very early on when I first started talking in this video. So we'll see where this goes from here. And once again, to me, the other side effect of this is, as these grading companies continue to think outside the box on pricing and pricing models and way to offer value to the customer, it benefits us overall. The four of these guys, PSA, Beckett, CSG/CGC, and SGC, competing against each other ultimately means we win. Because one, they're trying to be better than the next guy, whether that's through innovation or pricing, to make themselves stand out. We benefit from that. And then on a pricing standpoint, they're going back and forth with each other. we benefit from that because we get cheaper grading out of it, and probably better turnaround times, better innovation, all that stuff. It might take some time for all that to play out across the varying different companies, but you're seeing it right now. We've had how many price changes? I need a whiteboard and tally marks to count up the number of price changes we've had, like since probably the National. And really in the last 6 weeks, we've had how many? Beckett's had 3 or 4 different price changes. PSA's had multiple price changes. SGC had one, their big price changes they went to post-National, which wasn't too terribly long ago, and now they're rolling out this special. CSG had their pricing. They rolled out that 20% special, which they ended up continuing on throughout the end of the year. We're all the winners here. And this, I mean, at this point, I doubt this is the last pricing stuff that we see between now and the end of the year between one of the 4 grading companies. Beckett has a Black Friday deal running right now, and their limited time deal that they have going on the collector special. I have to imagine they have something up their sleeve for December. The PSA $15 special for bulk is about to run out early next week. What do they have up their sleeves? What's the next thing we see from them? It went from $15 TCG to $15 sports cards, and then that runs out. Where do they go next? Do they have a new thing is it just flat $15 across the board for everything, regardless of category? Or do they have something else up their sleeves for Christmas? Don't know, but like I said, ultimately us as consumers, collectors, flippers, investors, whatever evil term you want to throw out there, we're the ones that win. That's all I got for you guys and girls. Catch you on the next one. Happy Thanksgiving. Peace.